When we had last left the Nameless One, well, their adventures in the Hive perhaps nearly reached a conclusion where they were ready to finally travel forward over to the lower ward. But first they had to mess around with a Davis and maybe killed one, which maybe was an ill-conceived plan, but they seemingly had little option, though maybe there were some other options. But nonetheless, they appeased some big head, which was going to give birth to other big heads. When it said that it would do that, a whole bunch of buildings kind of unfolded from the ground, and they were able to get to the lower wards, where there were angry Giths, there were old people who were angry as well, and there was a wizard who actually unlocked some sort of latent memory within the Nameless One, where they were leading some sort of rebellion within the lower ward. Nonetheless, it was time to look around, because also Mort got skull-napped. It was a weird situation. There were ratmen who did it. Now it was time to go look for Mort and other stuff in the lower ward. But maybe first they would backtrack a little bit. Who could say? This is Planescape Torment. Welcome back. Let me unpause that. Actually, let me repause that, because folks wrote in to varying degrees, letting me know about some of our quests, that in fact we do have more that we can do back in the previous area, the previous section of Sigil. So maybe we ought to do that. At the top of the list is that Glyve actually mentioned that to use the decanter, which we almost certainly should, because it really seems like we're going to get Ignis as like a follower, we can unlock the decanter by seeing someone named Namel, who I don't actually remember who Namel is. There is also Hamrys, who we were looking for here, right? Find Hamrys for Nod, who apparently is at the Smoldering Corpse Bar, and we met this person before, but I've simply forgotten. And if we want to investigate the ruby, the spell ruby for Jerem, we can go to the Alley of Dangerous Angles and speak to a certain priest who we had spoken with before in the past, right? Okay, so I think we should go back and at least try to do some of this. Let's see, but where is... Let's see. How do you spell Namel? You know what, that's probably fine right there. Yeah. In the clerk's ward. What is the clerk's ward? What is that? Okay. Well, do we know Namel? I don't remember Namel at all. Apparently we have talked to them, though. Oh, look. Oh, wow. I can actually fast travel from here. Oh, shit. That's really nice. Okay. Well, there's the clerk's ward right there. This is it? Oh, shit. Okay. Huh. Well, this is a different place, so maybe Namel isn't... Did I write this down? Okay, maybe unlocking the decanter is something we do now, right? Maybe that's something we do now. But the other two, Hamrys at the Smoldering Corpse Bar and the Alley of Dangerous Angles, these are things we ought to do now. Okay, I think I understand now. So, let's see, where was the Smoldering Corpse? Wasn't this it? Travel. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
We'll head over here. I do think that part of what fails me personally with the game with regards to like remembering individuals is like well, I guess it's a combination of stuff. It's that yeah, it's a combination of things in that there are a lot of people, there are a lot of characters, right? That we kind of happen upon who are important to varying degrees, some of whom turn out to be more important than others. some who seem wildly eccentric, but at least so far, their eccentricities remain just that, right? So it's sort of like a red herring situation where it's like, oh, this is some weird paladin of this order from a city that is like damned in some way and they're mourning it eternally. That seemed like a big deal, but in truth, it was maybe just contained to that side quest. I don't know. But there's stuff like that, and what's probably the more important part is the fact that it's an older game, right? Where you sort of get less of a visual and audio identifier for people, and you just kind of have to remember them by name. So if you're really good with names and like sort of keeping up with that stuff, you're going to be just fine. But especially if you're not, and in particular, if you are perhaps someone who has come to rely on contemporary games in some way delivering that information to you, then maybe you're prone a little bit to slip up, I would say. Like in a lot of these cases, you know, I can't help but think back to the closest analogy for this game, which would be Disco Elysium, which was, as we can see, took very heavy inspiration in some ways directly and in some ways thematically from this game. It's really wild to behold, but one of the things which they were able to accomplish with that game, with Disco, which is a combination of, like, you know, teams, time, skill set, technology, you know, but by virtue of having, like, very unique and very different areas in which you go into, it's a lot easier to have like visual identifiers of like, okay, this is who I talk to here. You know, also having like the character portraits is huge. If you're right, if like I said, if you're just good with names, so be it, but having like a character portrait for a character who you're talking to and that you're probably going to have to return to, I think that's definitely a huge deal, especially if the character portrait is particularly like memorable. It gives you just one extra vector to remember a character that is in some way relevant. And voice acting, right? Which, you know, whether that be full voice acting as it exists now, or even limited where it's just like the first few lines or so are voice acted, being able to connect that and sort of tie those things together also does a number when it comes to like helping to remember like, okay, who are these individuals? What were they all about? Rather than just them kind of becoming, I wouldn't say just like a big blur, but just making it easier to track people down in general. Let's see. Oh, maybe Namel is actually, or Hamrys is outside of here. Right? Oh, we're in the back. I actually never went in the back. This once functional door is now nailed shut and barred on the inside to protect against thieves. I bet it's a portal. Right. Okay.
Done.
Let's see over here. Oh, here you are. Let me get a refresher as well on this. But to be clear, they are doing a lot with, like, what they had, right? Especially for the time, right? Having the journal be very, which, I don't know, maybe the journal being so thorough and having search terms, I don't know if that's maybe like a new edition with enhanced edition or not, right? I guess I don't know. But either way, it's a huge help to have like an additional way to sort of sift through information and search through it. If anything, regardless of whether or not that's true, it would have been nice for Enhanced Edition to have like keywords that you could click on and sort of just immediately highlight and go back through your journal. Because we're getting to a point where like, even if I search up search terms, there are some entries that have a shitload of entries, right? Anyway. Let's see, quests assigned. Find Hamrys for Nod. A collector named Nod asked me to find his sister Hamrys and speak to her for him. He describes her as an attractive young woman living somewhere in the Hive, and that she was fair-skinned with black hair and always wore blue. I've agreed to help him. Okay. Hello. You see a young woman dressed in a tight leather bodice and leggings. She smells faintly of cheap perfume, and her face, though pretty, is painted with garish makeup. She smiles coyly as she sees you. Seeking some company, love? Are you, by any chance, Hamrys? She stares at you silently for a time, then speaks. I was called that once, long ago. Who are ye? I was sent to find you by Nod, your brother. He's worried about you, and I hoped you could tell him how you were. Nod? He's alive. Where? Why didn't he come to seek me out himself? I think he's ashamed. He's a collector now, living in poverty in Ragpicker's Square. He doesn't seem quite right. In the head, I mean.
Updated my journal.
Aye, he was a bit touched, even as a child. And his name was Thodis. Oh, I've missed him so. Ashamed, though. Me own work's no more proud. Ah, well, at least I'm doing well for myself. For Hive at any rate, eh? I must visit him soon. She looks at you closely for the first time since you've spoken. Are you a friend of Nod's, or... Of a sort, yeah, why? Not really, no. I guess we're friends in a sense, right? I'm doing a favor for him. Could you... She frowns, biting her lip, as if considering something. Could you give this to him? She steps close to you and offers a pouch of what looks to be about 100 copper commons. Yes, I swear I'll get it to him. Yes, I'll get it to him. No, I'd best not. I'll tell him you'll visit soon, though. Farewell. Oh, so we could, like, steal the money. I don't know if I want to swear, because what if I show up and he's dead or something? Okay, I'll get it to him. I'm sorry, Cutter, but could I get you to swear it to me? A lot of copper it is. For me, at least. Yeah, I swear I'll get it to him. Okay, well... Sure, they're forcing my hand here.
My journal.
She hands you the pouch. I thank ye. Go speak to Nod for me, and tell him how I worry about him so. I will. Farewell. Okay, and where was this other person? Oh, yeah, the Alley of Dangerous Angles. So now do I always have, like, fast travel access? No, I do not. Okay.
All right.
Unless, maybe if I go up to one of the zoning areas, maybe it'll bring it up now, no matter what. Let's see here. Would be very nice if it did. Ooh, okay, I like that. Let's go to the Alley of Danger. Well, no, let's wrap this up first. And we'll go to Ragpicker's Square.
I'm gone.
Okay. And wasn't Nod, like, around here? There's Ratbone. Yeah, there's Nod. Someone comes to speak to Nod. Speaks to Nod, aye. He suddenly breaks into a fit of hacking coughs, then nods to himself. I spoke to your sister, Hamrys. You did? Nod's so happy he is. How's Nod's sister? Tell him of Hamrys. Tell Nod, please. His excitement sets off a long series of hacking coughs. When he can finally speak again, he asks, Is Nod's sister still pretty? So pretty? Yes, she is. She's a prostitute now in the Hive. She is doing well and is worried for you. Lie. Yeah, she is. She's a servant now at a tavern in the Hive. She's doing well and is worried for you. Lie. Yes, I did. She's a whore, and one so foul I doubt I'd be with her even free of charge. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, she's a prostitute now. Not so pleased to know his sister is all right. He looks as if he's going to cry for a moment, then swallows hard. Anything more? Anything more, she said, for Nod to his? Yes, she wanted you to have these copper commons. She will also visit you as soon as she can find the time. Lie. Only that she said she would visit you as soon as she found the time. Yeah, she wanted you to have this.
Updated my journal.
I do really like the writing here. I actually think that's pretty damn dope, right? Especially for the time, right? Where the setup is such that, like, oh, well, do you really want to tell Nod that his beloved sister, especially one who he says is so pretty or whatever, is renowned for, like, her beauty in some way, that she's a prostitute, right? It could have gone in such a different way, but it's just like, yeah, Nod's just like, okay, yeah, sure, right? It's very, like, treated very normally, which, you know, given the circumstances. Nod's head stops nodding abruptly, and his jaw drops as you hand him the 100 coins. Beneath the dirt brown hood, his eyes gleam with joy. Such wonderful news it is, good. Wonderful news, aye. Nod thanks ye, and thanks ye again, and thanks ye 1,000 times more, aye. Glad I could help. Farewell, Nod. Okay.
All right.
There we are. So let's head on back over here. Oh, shoot. There it is, I think. And let's go to the Alley of Dangerous Angles.
All right.
It is so nice that we have this fast travel shit. We should have gone to the lower ward first, though, right? That way we would have the fast travel unlocked. Okay, up and over here. Lovely. Okay. Aola. I don't know. May Eoskar grant you safe passage. How may I help you? I'd like to purchase that gem you took from Mordor's box. Tell me more about Eoskar. Why are there no other disciples of Eoskar? I'm interested in becoming a disciple of Eoskar. Nothing for now. Farewell. I'd like to purchase that gem you took from Mordor's box. Luckily for you, I haven't had the time to sell it yet. I'll let you have it for the bargain price of 300 coppers. I'll take it. That's robbery. I won't pay it. I'll take it. May Eoskar, the god of portals, doors, and opportunity, smile upon you. Farewell. Was I able to ask him all this other shit the last time? Tell me more about Eoskar. Aeola's voice takes on the tone of adulation. Eoskar is the keeper of gateways. Within Eoskar lies the power of portals, doorways, and opportunity. Sigil, also known as the City of Doors, used to be the home of Eoskar, until he was cast out by that accursed lady. Now, there are few worshippers of Eoskar here, because the lady forbids it. That will soon change, however, as I help the people to see the greatness of Eoskar. She cannot stand against the will of the people. I wish to become a disciple of Eoskar. Why are there no other disciples of Eoskar? Yeah, why? Over the years, I have had many disciples. Unfortunately, they have all disappeared. It's quite frustrating, actually. As soon as they become initiates, I never see them again. Lately, there's been a rumor going around that the lady herself is the cause. Now, no one comes by anymore. You are the first soul I've seen stop by in a long while. Huh. I'm not afraid. I wish to become a disciple of Eoskar. Do I? I feel like it's a lot to become a disciple of Eoskar. Right? Especially when I know so little about the Lady of Pain, other than the fact that she's probably not going to be happy about that Davis when we finally meet her. The lady, I have no wish to cross her. I'd best be on my way. Farewell. Okay.
All right.
Let me take a look at the ruby. Mordor's ruby. This is a fairly large ruby recovered from Mordor's box. Gems of this quality are valued by practitioners of the art as a component for various spells. And who did I need this for? For Jerem. A spellcaster named Jerem is searching for a ruby to complete one of his spells. He has promised to make it worth my while if I should bring one to his house in Ragpicker's Square. Okay. There we are. Do a quick save here. Okay, and then I wonder how far along we are in the game, right? Given the size of the map, right? Some of these probably only have 1 or 2 locations in them. Oh shit, actually, can I see them right now? Oh my god, yeah, I can see like little runes and stuff on this like leather map. Yeah, look at this. There's shit here. Huh. What the fuck? Okay. And look, there's like a circle. Could it be the bronze sphere? And there's a circle there too. It's maybe just a coincidence. Okay. Ragpicker's Square again.
I'm gone.
And we need to find Jerem's house? This wasn't Jerem's house up here, was it? I don't think so. This is the one we blocked off. Yeah. Maybe this is it? No. Maybe over here? Hey, there it is.
Done.
Or there you are. Hello. You're back. Did you manage to find one? No, I'm still looking. What am I supposed to be looking for again? Is this what you're looking for? Is this it? That's perfect. How did you... never mind here. Jerem takes the gem from you, handing you a good sum of coins. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to work on my spell.
Updated my journal.
How much money did I get? Can I talk to you again? Hello again. Pardon me for being abrupt, but now that I have that gem, I need to prepare myself for the casting. Okay. When we leave, his house blows up.
All right.
Okay, well, if only. Let's head on out here. And now we've got all of our business dealt with. Okay, so lower ward, right here. Oh, what? Oh, I'm at the other end of it. Whoa, okay.
Done.
This strange building appears to be a coffin maker's shop. The sign about the door has the slogan, "Engineered for Eternity," clearly written upon it. This wrecked building looks a little out of place here. The coffin maker. Let's speak with Lenny first. You see a feral-looking young man in shoddy clothes. His eyes dart about as he scans his surroundings. He notices your approach and begins eyeing you warily. Greetings. He looks you up and down, then glances about, returning his attention to you. He gives you a wicked grin. You'd best have a good reason for disturbing Lenny, Burke. I have some questions. He laughs at you. I ain't no tout. If you've got questions, go find one. His smile broadens. You'd best push off before I have to bleed you. I just need to ask you a few questions. He stops smiling and frowns at you. No, I don't answer questions, Burke. I told you to go find a tout. Now get. He glares at you. Fine, farewell. What is this? Big bucket? Okay, bandages and money. You can't determine what this odd device is. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I truly cannot. Let's go down here into the coffin maker shop. Hamrys Dimtree. Oh no, wait, this is 2 people. Dimtree and Hamrys.
All right.
A potted plant. It's in pretty good shape, but could use some water and just a bit of trim. What did he say? You're the best friend of what? Okay, I'm going to talk to Dimtree first. You see a tall, slender man with a glassy-eyed expression. He seems engrossed in some tale that the shopkeeper is relating. Occasionally he nods his head, but makes no comments of his own. Greetings? The man turns slightly at your greeting, just enough to acknowledge your presence. You notice that he is a little pale of complexion and rather gaunt-looking. He is giving you a blank stare. The shopkeeper does not seem to notice any of this and continues with his stream of useless prattle. I have some questions. Are you all right? The man continues to stare at you and slowly nods. You wait for any further response, but he says nothing, only stares. You're about to turn away in frustration when you think you notice a strange, musty odor about the man. Step closer and sniff. What is he, a zombie? Ignore the man and leave. I'll sniff. You lean in and sniff at the man, unsure what you'll find. Yeah, he farts. I smell a fart. It turns out he's been farting the whole time. That explains the stare. He's just been locked eyes with me as he's been just ripping ass big time. You lean in and sniff at the man, unsure what you'll find. As you do, a musty odor fills your senses, an odor you recognize from your time in the mortuary. It is the smell of dead flesh, preserved by magic. You're a zombie, aren't you? The creature continues to stare at you blankly. Slowly, as if with great effort, he begins to reply to you. Only your speak with dead power makes him understandable.
Yes, I am. Dimtree.
Why are you here, Dimtree? Dimtree slowly glances at the shopkeeper and makes a feeble gesture toward him. Seeing this as a sign of interest, the shopkeeper redoubles his efforts in telling whatever tale he is relating to the poor creature. Dimtree looks at you again.
Hamrys. He talks. Hamrys never stops. Wanders town. Annoys master. Annoys everyone. Master create Dimtree. Tells Dimtree. Talk Hamrys. Now Hamrys stay in shop. Master happy. Town happy. Dimtree sad.
Oh, is there anything I can do to help you, Dimtree? The creature pauses, then resumes his slow speech with you. You can almost detect a pleading tone in his voice.
Yes. Fine master. Sebastion.
Oh.
Ask him release me, please.
He turns his attention to Hamrys momentarily.
Please.
Why don't I just put you out of your misery? That's terrible. Right? Is that how we are with everybody? It's how I was with that Davis. All right, I don't know. I'll think about it. I have some questions. The creature gives you a barely perceptible shrug of the shoulders.
No, nothing. Dimtree summoned by master. No darkness, peace, rest. Then Hamrys. Sorry. Help you, if could.
I see. Farewell, then. That has to be one of the finest coffins I've ever put together, eh, Dimtree? Hey, Hamrys. You see a rugged-looking, square-jawed man. He turns to you with a wide smile. How are you, Cutter? Good day to you. Good day indeed. He squints at you for a second, then juts his hand out to shake yours. Shake his hand. Greetings. Ignore the man. I'll shake his hand. Hamrys at your service. Member of the Harmonium and the fashioner of fine coffins for the recently departed. I think I know you, do I not? Let me see if I can place it. He pauses to think for a moment. Sharp with names I was in the Harmonium, let me tell you. Knew everyone on the entire ward. Lie. My name is Adon. I have some questions. I must be going. Farewell. I have some questions. He nods at you. Ask away. What happens if I never... Have I told anyone that my name is Adon yet? I don't know if I have. I feel like I've withheld that. Or not even told them, but lied to them that my name is Adon. I'm looking for someone named Lothar, or the Master of the Bones. I hear your father died. Can you tell me what happened? How did I hear his father died? Did I hear that? Who's your friend here? Can you tell me about this ward? What can you tell me about the city of Sigil? I must be going now. Farewell. I'm looking for someone named Lothar or the Master of the Bones. He frowns deeply in thought. Can't say I've ever heard of the fellow. Master of the Bones, you said? A catchy title, that. He smiles. In a way, I guess you could say that's my title as well, dealing with corpses as much as I do. Now, I know that most of them are covered in flesh, but there have been plenty of times where I've had to make a coffin just for bones. There was this one fellow that had his bones picked clean by something. Never did find out what. Interrupt. I have some more questions. I must be going now. Farewell. I have some more questions. He nods at you. Ask away. He gives you a broad smile. I hear your father died. Can you tell me what happened? He frowns at you. Well, he disappeared some time ago, so I can only assume that he is dead. Where did you hear this? I don't recall. You say he disappeared? Yeah, I don't recall. He nods. Oh, yes, many, many years ago, my father was a talented stonemason, and he did not only construct sarcophagi, but he was also quite skilled in tomb design. People from across Sigil. The room begins to fade around you as a memory tugs at your consciousness. Relax and try to remember.
My journal.
You find yourself standing in this very shop, talking with an older man while a child sits in the corner and plays. On the counter between you and the shopkeeper is a set of plans. He seems to be explaining some intricacies with the construction of a tomb. Your vision fades as you try to examine the details of the plans. Continue. When your sight returns, you are standing in a cavern in front of a tomb. Above the entry, you see the slogan, "Engineered for Eternity," clearly carved in the stone. The shopkeeper is standing next to you, a broad smile on his face. He gestures to you and begins to walk into the tomb. You quickly match his pace from behind and draw your blade. Continue. You find yourself back in Hamrys' shop. He is looking at you with some concern. Are you well, sir? Tell me what happened to your father. He simply vanished one day, leaving most of his commissions unfinished. Most embarrassing. Took a long while to get out of the debt caused by his disappearance, and to an extent, I'm still settling various accounts. Still, I have a certain aptitude for the work, and... He sighs lightly and gets a faraway look in his eyes. Go on. He shrugs. Sorry, I was just thinking. My father's disappearance was the reason I joined the Harmonium, and left it later on. At first, I had a burning desire to find out what happened to him. Later, I felt a certain obligation to continue his life's work. He sighs. I never found the answers I sought. It was quite the mystery as to what happened. His voice fades to silence. Did your father keep any of the plans for the tombs he built? He thinks for a moment. Yes, he did. After I came of age and inherited the business, I went through all of his records. They were quite extensive. Why do you ask? If I describe a tomb to you, could you tell me if it was your father's work? Are we thinking about the one where we had our wild trip? Okay. If I describe it to you, could you tell me? He frowns in thought, then shrugs. I can but try. My harmonium training has blessed me with a sharp memory. I should be able to recognize my father's work if you give me enough details. He looks at you expectantly. Describe the tomb from your memory. He thinks for some time. There is little doubt that the tomb you describe is my father's work. The slogan you mention has been the family's trademark for several generations. He pauses and gives you a strange look. This tomb, where is it located? Describe the location. You describe the location in detail, surprising yourself with the knowledge you have of the area. Hamrys watches you with a concerned look. Odd, I don't recall anything in the family records that would even have permitted him to construct a tomb there. The dustmen are very careful about building rights and real estate, especially beneath the streets of Sigil. Then you recognize the location? He nods enthusiastically. Oh, yes. Sounds like the Drowned Nation's catacombs to me. He pauses. I've never been there myself, but I've heard the area described many a time in my years in the Harmonium. I need to know if your father kept the plans for that tomb. Yes, the warehouse where I store my goods handles my business documents as well. Anyway, they're having internal problems of some sort. New management or some such nonsense. I haven't been able to replenish my stock of late, and I doubt I could retrieve any paperwork from them either. He frowns. The Harmonium would never let things get so out of hand as to cause distress to its customers. His voice fades away as he thinks, and then he looks to you. Perhaps you would look into the matter for me. The warehouse? Yes. The warehouse is having some internal problems of some sort, whatever that means. I can't get any stock from them until the matter is cleared up. He frowns. The Harmonium would... I think we've got here to this dialogue in an unexpected way because we're reiterating a bit. The Harmonium would never let things get so out of hand as to cause distress to its customers. His voice fades away as he thinks, and he looks to you. Perhaps you would look into it. Okay, yeah, I guess I don't have a choice if I want the plans. I'll do it. It's not my problem. Why don't you handle it? I'll think about it. I have some questions. Yeah, I'll do it.
Updated my journal.
Why do I want the plans? He smiles broadly. Excellent. If you deal with this issue satisfactorily, you may have your plans for free. He gets that lecture look on his face again. That may not seem like sufficient payment, but let me tell you about the difficulty involved in creating those plans. Here's a question. How meta commentary do we think we're going to get here? Right, with regards to changing the nature of a man. In some way, right, if we are always within a certain set of like confines for who we could possibly be, even if we could be wildly different people, those confines are mechanically defined by the game, by virtue of the choices we have available to us, right? Because it's not like, you know, it's a video game. We're not quite at the point where, barring a few unique games that are like more so text adventures where you can actually enter text to play the game, we have to choose an option, one through whatever, you know? In this way, I think there's an interpretation where like the idea is like, why do I have an interest in this? You could interpret that as like, that's my memory, my like nascent memories of past incarnations sort of like beginning to bubble to the top. Even if I can't quite understand them, I have this internalized urge to want to say this. And myself, consciously, this current incarnation, I see that. Me, the player, I see that. And thus, my current incarnation sees that. And I think like, well, I may as well, this is an odd thing to say, but I may as well say it, right? I may as well follow this like flight of fancy and see where this leads. You know, I may as well go down the rabbit hole. It doesn't make too much sense, but there is this loose thread here. You know, in a certain way, it does make sense in that regard, right? Huh. Okay. He smiles broadly. Excellent. If you deal with this issue satisfactorily, you may have your plans for free. He gets that lecture look on his face again. That may not seem like sufficient payment, but let me tell you about the difficulty involved in creating those plans. No, thank you. I'll just get started on this right away. Farewell. Another time. I have some questions. Okay. Same as before. We'll keep going through these. Who's your friend here? He glances at the customer. Dimtree? He shrugs, like he hadn't considered the fellow before. Quiet. Doesn't say much, do you, Dimtree? Dimtree doesn't respond, but simply gives the same blank expression. A few seconds later, he nods. Hamrys shrugs, turns back to you. Wandered in one day a few weeks back. Been a regular ever since. He hasn't bought anything, but he doesn't cause any trouble, so I let him stay. Seems harmless enough. You see, when I was serving the Harmonium, part of our work was to take people under our wing, give them a little shelter from the chaos of the streets, get them spruced up. You do know he's a zombie, don't you? He frowns, glances at Dimtree, then back at you. What nonsense are you rattling on about? Dimtree's no zombie. Sure, he may be quiet and doesn't move much, but it's just because he's a good listener. Punch Dimtree. Look, Dimtree is a zombie. I have no other option. Okay, I will punch Dimtree. Look, he is a zombie. Hamrys looks at you in shock. What in the Harmonium's name are you? You cuff Dimtree on the skull. Hard. He doesn't even blink. Hamrys turns red and starts bellowing. You've gone too far. I won't have you striking my customers. I'm placing you under arrest by the authority of the Harmonium. He stops and stares in wonder as Dimtree still fails to react. He's a zombie, Hamrys. Hamrys stares at Dimtree in confusion. Oh, I wonder how he died. You get the feeling that Hamrys just isn't getting it. Just the other day, he seemed quite lively. This is like such a fucking Twin Peaks-esque character. He harumphs, for once, at a loss for words. Well, it looks like old Dimtree will need a coffin. Good thing he ended up here. Thing is, what kind of coffin should... He looks like he is going to begin a lecture. I have some questions. Okay. Can you tell me about this ward? Yes, the lower ward. He leans forward as if explaining something to a small child. You know, it's little known to most newcomers and even people in the ward. Most people think that this ward gets its name simply because it's not as prestigious as some of the other wards, but that's not it at all. Not at all. Do you know where the name comes from? He looks at you expectantly. From all the lower plane portals? No, I don't know where it gets its name. I don't care where it gets the name from. Can you tell me what there is to see in the ward? I do think I kind of know, yeah, from the lower plane portals. He nods, though he seems a little disappointed that you know. Yes, indeed. These portals to the lower planes are actually the reason for the smog in the skies here. He glances upwards, as if imagining a sky above your heads. But I'm sure you all are already aware of the conditions that plague this ward. No, tell me about it. Oh, it's because of the portals to the lower planes. Okay, yeah, we are. Okay, I thought he would... Well, maybe there is some more here. They are the reason behind all the smog that fills the area, belching out noxious gases and all. Fortunately, winds from the spire help to blow away the worst of the mists, but it can bring others in the ward with much weaker constitutions down and fill them full of sickness. Shakes his head sadly. Fortunately, my Harmonium training has prepared me for all sorts of hazardous conditions, and after my travels to the lower planes, the smog of this ward is little to bear indeed. What is there to see in the ward? He smiles broadly. A great deal, a great deal. Where to start? If we were to step past all the kilns, forges, breweries, and distilleries scattered amongst the many garbage fires, not to mention the alchemist's den, the crematoriums, meat curing houses, and the charcoal burners, and examine the ward itself as a whole, one could say, well, there's the foundry, the siege tower, and... He begins to falter and stops to think. Tell me about the foundry. Tell me about the siege tower. I have some questions. I must be going. Farewell. We'll start from the top. How about the foundry? The Great Foundry is the headquarters for the Believers of the Source, also known to some of the laymen as Godsmen, because of their belief that everyone can achieve divinity. He shakes his head. The Great Foundry is much like their philosophy, a large, sprawling structure that seems to produce nothing but smoke. He laughs. I mean, when was the last time you saw one of the Believers of the Source suddenly become a power? Not any time in the faction's history. Okay, tell me about the Godsman. Actually, friend, Godsman is a layman's term for their faction. The real name of their organization is, in actuality, the Believers of the Source. They hold to an interesting, if ultimately flawed, philosophy. They believe that everyone has the capability of aspiring to divine status, simply by applying themselves. He shakes his head indulgently as he pauses to think. I mean, this is very relevant to me, who, at present, there is some question as to, like, my own status, right? Being immortal, you know? And in some ways, we could be like a lesser god. You know, maybe a chaotic one who, during one incarnation brings great splendor and good times to a lot of people here. Or during another incarnation, I just go around and murder people. But I always come back, you know? Maybe I am some sort of a god. Maybe I'm a god. He shakes his head indulgently as he pauses to think. Let's see. Go on. As my tour of duty with the harmonium quickly proved, there are many who could never aspire to divinity, no matter how long they sought it or applied themselves. He scoffs. Nonetheless, the Believers of the Source work quite hard. He shrugs. And their little faction is pleasant enough. Tell me about the Siege Tower. Can you tell me about some of the other factions? Can you tell me about some of the other factions? He smiles at you, eager to talk. Why, certainly, friend. I can tell you a little about the Harmonium, the Mercy Killers, or the Governors. Which should I start with? The Governors? Okay, sure. Tell me about the Governors. He nods knowingly. The Fraternity of Order is their proper faction name. They are dedicated to law and knowledge. They spend most of their time simply researching every aspect of law. Now, I'm not talking just man-made laws. No, their search goes much deeper. They want to know the how and why behind everything. Because of their devotion to law, they also run the courts of Sigil and act as lawyers, judges, advocates, and such. Tell me about another faction. Okay, how about the Harmonium, your favorite one? He stands proudly. The primary faction of Sigil is, of course, the Harmonium. We are the faction dedicated to preserving law and order in Sigil, and there is no other more important function. Progress can only be achieved in a state of peace and harmony. There are those that think otherwise, but they don't have our resolve, and thus they shall fail. Okay, how about another faction? The Mercy Killers. He smiles. The Mercy Killers stand for justice. To them, justice is everything. It is absolute and perfect. They dedicate their lives to dispensing justice, but it must be done correctly according to the law. They firmly believe that by imposing justice on the multiverse, it can be cleansed of evil and made perfect. Huh. Okay, anything else? More questions. Okay. Tell me about the ward. Let's see, from all the lower planes portals, yeah. Okay, some other questions. No, I wanted to ask about the tower. Tell me about that. Now, where does it get its name? Okay, what is there to see in the ward? Okay, the Siege Tower. That scarred iron wreck. A ward mystery it is, but I have some thoughts on it. First off, it wasn't always here, as I understand it. It simply arrived one night, and no one saw how it got here. Now you've seen the outside of it. It's seen battle, and it looks like battles that most people could not imagine. Me, however, I've seen the edges of the Blood War, even tackled a Tanaree fiend or two when things were desperate with only my Harmonium fellows beside me. And those scars on the tower look like they were gathered over several centuries at least. He pauses for a moment. Go on. Now, listen close. My experience allows me to recognize some of those scars that decorate the sides of the tower. Some are acidic blasts, surely enough from some major sorceries. Some are Tanaraic, teething blades. Others look like detonations from Loth globes or scars from Batizu Cornagun whips. However, a lot of the weapons embedded in the sides are weapons like none I've ever seen, and I'm well versed in a variety of weapons, on many worlds and on many different planes. Makes you wonder, what's held in the inside of the tower? Basher who cracks that tower might have a museum in their hands. Makes you curious, doesn't it? He stares at you. Okay, I have some other questions. What can you tell me about the city of Sigil? Sigil. He lets out a long breath. Sigil is the city at the center of all things, or so many believe. It is the city of doors. There are literally thousands of portals here. It is the home to the Lady of Pain herself. He shrugs. Sigil is a topic that can fill volumes and volumes of volumes. Okay. Tell me about the Lady of Pain. Is he going to do the little half circle or whatever? The Lady of Pain. Hamrys leans in and drops his voice slightly. One of the multiverse's greatest mysteries. Everyone will agree. I think she's proved beyond doubt's shadow that females are the most dangerous creatures in the multiverse. He sighs. Some say she's a goddess, a power that's made Sigil her home. Truth is, she breaks the laws of every power I've encountered. Powers need worshippers, gives them their power, but the lady doesn't like to be worshipped. People who do end up in her shadow, their flesh torn apart by invisible blades. Now I've seen some horrible things in my life, things that would make another man's knees go weak and make him lose control of his vitals. Doesn't even compare to seeing one of the lady's victims. Interesting. What else can you tell me? Next is, she don't take to people who try and play God in Sigil. See, you may not know this, but first off, no powers can enter Sigil. Not Zeus, not Ra, no one. Word is that the lady's presence... Are Zeus and Ra canon in D&D? What? Do like mythological deities from our world exist in like Planescape D&D? At least in 2nd edition or whatever this fucking is? Huh. Word is that the lady's presence somehow keeps them out. Can't get in. Not a one. And that twists their stems like you wouldn't believe. Sigil's such a sweet fruit that anyone would want to pluck, but the other powers are always looking for some way into Sigil. They haven't succeeded. Go on. Well, it goes beyond that. Not only does the lady keep them out, she keeps anybody inside the city from harming it. Certainly she has help from our faction, the Harmonium, since we like order. But every once in a while, a foolish basher takes it into their head to start fighting on the streets of the city. Maybe decide to kill a few Dabus, brew up some chaos, or start casting mass destruction spells. Not a good thing. Makes the lady upset. Doesn't like to see her city hurt. She'll kill you, or maze you for doing such. Maze you? We're familiar with this, I think. Maze you? You haven't heard of the mazes? He looks at you condescendingly. You are green. The lady's got extra-dimensional prisons she can place special offenders in. You see, she takes little bits of Sigil, shapes them into mazes, then cuts them off from Sigil. You'll be walking home one night or be stepping through an archway near your home, then suddenly, everything changes. You won't be in the place you remember. You'll be trapped. Chant is, there is one way to get out of each maze, but you'll be dead and gone before you tumble into the dark of how to escape. Okay. Well, I have some questions. Maybe I got mazed already. That was the sarcophagus. Right? The weird sarcophagus room that only I could enter? Huh. Okay, well, I must be going now. Farewell. Can I look through a lot of this in here? It's not clear if this is a tombstone or a headboard. These shelves hold many bottles and vials. Most are filled with unidentifiable liquids and powders. This board contains various tools used in the art of coffin making. A coffin is currently under construction on this table. I feel like coffin making should have like its own unique verb. It's not clear if this is a tombstone or a headboard. Okay. If I look in these, am I gonna get in deep shit? Seems fine. You sure are a quiet one, Dimtree. Okay. Silver bracelet. Yeah, I think we're fine to just take all that. Cool. Oh, oh gosh. There we go. Back outside.
Done.
So is Sebastion still there? Maybe I can talk to him real quick. Guilt spur. Come now, insult me. That said, maybe we shouldn't do that just yet. Right? Maybe we should try and find... Right, maybe there's a timer going right now. Yeah. To find, to find Mort. Yeah. Okay. Didn't Sebastion say he would help me find Mort if I helped him? Okay. Well, it says that he'll help me with my scars. Okay.
Done.
The pawn shop, the marketplace. Good. See, now I'm worried that, like, now I'm on a timer. I have concerns about that. Okay. Ooh, there's a slave market here. Holy shit. The ambient dialogue is so wild. I'll take him! I'll take him! Barely legible script above this entry proclaims this building to be the vault of the Ninth World. Stylish script around the door frame proclaims this building as a print shop. Okay. The Siege Tower. This appears to be a siege tower. The walls are scarred and pitted. It has seen many a battle in its lifetime. In its lowered position, this drawbridge would give attackers access to the siege tower to the walls of a city or keep. Okay. These crates are beginning to show signs of age. Soon they will crumple to a pile of refuse. These barrels are probably here to catch rainwater. The only thing that fills them is dust. Poor quality stiletto. And this is the dude we're looking for. Grasuk. Okay. Let's see here. journal. Nod's sister. Okay. I succeeded in aiding the pregnant Allie in its delivery. We actually didn't write a journal entry for Mort? What the fuck? Why would I not? That's wild. The one thing I don't write a journal entry for is like such a major fucking deal. Okay. Hang on, let me go talk to Sebastion. Well, since we're here, let's deal with fucking Grasuk. Okay. Kill Grasuk, the Abishai, for Sebastion. Okay. Hello? You see a reptilian creature with a snake-like body, 4 clawed feet, leathery wings, and a draconian head. The scales covering its body are a vile shade of green. The creature stands upright on its hind legs, balancing with its prehensile tail. As you approach, its eyes narrow to slits and it begins to hiss. Greetings? The air around the creature begins to radiate heat, and its scales take on a pale sheen. Gives you a hungry look, and appears ready to strike. Suddenly, it releases a flurry of hisses and relaxes its stance a bit.
Go, Grasuk no talk, told wait.
It glares at you as its tail lashes back and forth. What kind of creature are you? Sebastion sent me. The creature relaxes quite a bit, and the air grows cooler. It holds out a clawed hand to greet you. Or to you.
Give Grasuk information.
He looks at you expectantly. What information? No, Sebastion sent me to kill you. I don't have it with me. I'll go get it. Farewell. What information? It's hard to read facial expressions on a reptile, but you are certain that Grasuk is rather annoyed with you. His tail begins to lash furiously and the air grows warm again.
No question. Give Grasuk information or die. Grasuk, then take information from body.
I need to know which piece of information is for you. I run errands intended for several people, you understand. Actually, Sebastion sent me to kill you. Yeah, I need to know which piece of information is for you. He glares at you for a moment while he thinks. Finally, he gestures at a nearby tower.
Siege tower. I'll get inside. Sebastion say divine way.
Grasuk takes a step toward you and holds out his hand.
Now give.
Oh, that information. I'm sorry. Sebastion wanted to deliver that one in person. He'll be along soon.
Updated my journal.
The air around Grasuk begins to radiate heat, and his scales take on a pale green. He gives you a hungry look and appears ready to strike. He opens his mouth to reveal several rows of razor-sharp teeth.
No. Grasuk think you lie. Give information now. Grasuk kill quick, not slow. Not give. Grasuk take time. Remove your insides. Let you watch.
Wait, I don't have the information you want, but I know something that I think is worth my life. Fine, Sebastion sent me to kill you anyway. Should I be friendly with Grasuk? What information do I know that I think is worth my life? Okay. Yeah, you know what? Let's see what the fuck I'm talking about. I know something that I think is worth my life. Grasuk cocks his head to one side and glares at you. He seems lost in thought for a moment.
Grasuk, listen. Information good, you live.
He gives you a toothy grin.
Not good, you die. Grasuk, give word.
Sebastion can't fulfill your contract. He sent me here to kill you. How do I know you'll keep your word? Forget it. Sebastion sent me here to kill you anyway. Sebastion can't fulfill your contract. He sent me here to kill you.
Updated my journal.
Grasuk stares at you for some time, then releases a stream of frustrated hisses. He begins to flex his claws and his tail lashes back and forth. You notice a barbed stinger appear from the tip of his tail occasionally.
Yes. Information good. Grasuk give word. You live. Grasuk thank. Grasuk, go now. Need talk Sebastion.
Uh-oh. We faded to black. Maybe I didn't want to do that. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. We'll probably go over there and he'll be dead. Okay. Oh, I think he is most certainly dead. Yeah. Okay, well, there's a green steel knife. Yeah, we probably shouldn't let him die. Right, okay, let me reload that. I thought maybe we would have some other recourse there in telling him a secret. Okay, greetings. Sebastion sent me. Okay. Send me what information? Okay. I need to know what information is for you.
Updated my journal.
Okay, fine. Sebastion sent me to kill you anyway. Fuck it.
Endure. In enduring grows in Zerthamon's name.
Good. Okay.
Aye? Right.
I hear
Okay.
your words.
Let's get another one of these off. Whew, man. Dude is dealing a lot of damage, but not enough.
I will hear you.
Done.
Alright, let's report back then real fast.
Get your slave over here! Two for the price of one!
Oh, the Godsman. We still didn't speak with Xanthia or these three. Oh, and there's also someone named Byron Pickett. Hello, Sebastion. Sebastion smiles at your approach. Good day, Cutter. Have you completed your quest? Yes, and I've come for what is due me. One moment, please, Cutter. Sebastion reaches into his robe and removes a small crystal ball. He gazes into it for a moment before returning his attention to you. Dog, he's really gonna ponder his orb right in the middle of the conversation. I cannot thank you enough, Cutter. I shall live up to my part of the bargain. Are you ready? Yes. 4,000 XP. It is done, Cutter. Once again, I thank you. Sebastion bows deeply to you. Thanks and farewell, Sebastion. Oh, +2 charisma permanently. Oh, so the... Oh, because now I'm a little bit more sexy?
In
Updated my
knowing the
journal.
teachings of Zerthamon, I have become stronger.
Okay. Sebastion, anything else? Sebastion smiles at you. No, nothing new. Okay. Well,
Balance in
Dak
all
and-
things.
leveled up here. Fighting skills have improved. 5 HP, 1 HP from Khan. Yeah, where the fuck did Sebastion say Mort might be? Fuck. Huh. Maybe he said the coffin maker. Maybe that's what he said. Yeah. I don't know. Because I worry that we're timed right now. Yeah, I don't know. Okay. Well, like I had said in the past one, apologies, but we'll have to end this one a little bit earlier than normal, sort of like taking normal length as it used to be, for the main reason that tomorrow there will be no video. I will be going to a wedding and won't have time for that. I might try and get a little something, right? But otherwise we'll continue the following day on Sunday. If you're watching these as they're coming out. If not, then no problemo, huh? Anyway, until next time, please take care of each other.